Al Bernstein here at the Hall of Fame induction weekend, where we're at the card and collectibles show. And I'm going to tell you something that I just found out. There were bare knuckle fighters who were women in the sport of boxing. Surprising. That's just one of the things we found out here at the Hall of Fame of bare knuckle boxing. It's in Belfast, New York. You can see some of the material here, and you see ladies on these shirts, and you can see all the paraphernalia here. And we're going to talk to Scott Burt, who is the man that runs this Hall of Fame, and he's going to explain it to you. Here, Scott, come on in here. So I had no idea as I'm walking around here in a million years, number one, that there was in fact a bare knuckle Hall of Fame, or number two, which is more astonishing, that there were women that were bare knuckle fighters. First, tell me about the women. This is astonishing.
Well, I kind of stumbled onto it myself. Christy Martin was coming down this year, and I started looking through my research and discovered 5 well-known bare knuckle boxers from the 17 and 1800s. And we took them to my committee, and oh my goodness, yes, they certainly qualified to be inducted. The most famous is from 1722. Elizabeth Wilkinson Stokes. Now, she married Stokes, famous boxer back then, and Stokes actually cornered her. And so she's going to be one of our inductees. We're so excited to have a completely women theme this year, with Christy coming, and then we're also having Malvina Lathan, the New York State Commissioner, come down, and Leona Brown, and Gloria Peak, the Olympic boxing coach this year, is coming. So we're really excited.
Tell me a story about John L. Sullivan and his training center, which is kind of how this all started.
Yeah, well, he trained here in Belfast. And Belfast is just a little blink of a town. There isn't even a traffic light there. And he trained in 1889 in these barns. William Muldoon, the famous Greco-Roman wrestler, brought him there to train him. And when he brought him to train him, he was there for 6 weeks, trained him. He went and fought Jake Kilrain. Sullivan won in 75 rounds, 2 hours, 15 minutes, 104-degree weather. Doesn't get any better than that. And then they locked the doors. 120 years later, I unlock them. There's all of Sullivan's equipment. Wow. Unbelievable.
Still sitting here intact.
It's still there intact. And then what we found out is a lot of the locals, the grandparents and great-grandparents, had removed some of the stuff over the years. All of a sudden, I found piles of equipment on the steps with a note that said, "We want this back into the Hall of Fame." So it all got returned. Whatever sprouted legs and took off, all came back. We've got the original Indian clubs that he ran with, 20 miles. When he came to Belfast, 6 months before, he was on crutches. He couldn't walk. When he left, he had gone from 250 pounds to 190. And when the betting at that fight was lopsided for Kilrain until Sullivan took off his robe. And then it more than evened out.
Yeah, John L. Sullivan was known to occasionally train on libations, so not always in the best of shape.
Well, Muldoon knew he couldn't take it all away from him, and Bass Ale was his beer of choice. He let him have one beer.
Oh, okay.
Now, what was common back then was that they would spike the water between rounds with whiskey. Now, the interesting story, though, is in the after the 44th, Sullivan threw up because someone had spiked it to help with the pain.
Oh,
all of Sullivan's friends said, "Oh, we know Johnny. He kept down the liquor and threw up the water."
All right, so yeah, that's a little different. Alcohol laced water in between the 44th and 45th round. That's a little different than we're used to in boxing today. Hey, what a delight. And folks can go to Belfast, New York, and find out all the see all this, right?
Oh, they can. It's next month is our induction. It's July 12th. And all the information's on our website, bareknuckleboxinghalloffame.com.
God, what a delight to visit with you. I just found out all kinds of information I didn't know, and I'm guessing you have as well. That's what we find out here at the Hall of Fame weekend.